And of course, it's the swapped version. There we go. All right, everybody, here we go. Game 1, Warship Masters Invitational. This is RVS versus RESIN. This is a best of 3 battle. There we go. Come on. That ought to work. Let's go ahead and increase the scale of the side panels here, just so it's a little bit easier for you all to track what's going on. That should be good. And here we go. So, Team RVS is bringing with them a Druid, a Smalland, a Marceau, and an Elbing. Nothing too special with their builds, in my opinion, although Smalland is running Dazzle. That's always fun to see. And then we've got ourselves a Napoli, a Petropavlovsk, and a Yodo. Interesting decision here. No battleship. Now, I say that as we go and look at the other side of the lineup. And the other side of the lineup, we've got Elbing. This is Team RESIN. Shimakaze, that's all torpedo spec'd. Another torpedo spec Shimakaze. And a Druid. Followed up by 3 cruisers. There's a unique upgrade Des Moines, a Henri, and a Condé. Ocean Man bringing the Condé out. Now, the super ship you think about is your flagship, right? The thing is, if the Condé gets killed in this particular game, RESIN can no longer use that Condé for the remainder of the tournament. The remainder of the tournament. That is quite interesting, if you ask me, because that means that Condé being one of the most, I guess you could say, powerful, strongest, balanced, broken of the super ships, I would think that the team would want to hold that in reserve more, but they're taking it out right away. Yeah, there's always the Annapolis, I'm sure. Checking on a couple of things real quick as we get into our early engagements. You can see Death Snail action occurring over here on the 9 line. Torpedo soup already coming. It's as if RVS kind of expected RESIN to do exactly this. Now, Boom Diata does have his Hydro up, but also look on the other side, and that is 3 destroyers all charging to the A cap. Wow. Now they're grabbing the A cap. Now this is a change in the cap configuration, of course. So it should, you would think, encourage more up close and personal fighting. But you can see that Destroyer Death Squad from RVS just going and grabbing that cap very early, very quick, very decisively. And now RESIN is really on the back foot. It's really on the back foot, as Wolfman might take a torpedo. No, he's fine. But that will, of course, cause a slight brown alert. Backing on off, we have Team RESIN trying to find a way back into the game. It looks like they might take the old-fashioned Thunderdome approach. Gandhi and Henri both using their engine boost to try to get into this Thunderdome as quickly as possible. The only problem with that is by the time they're able to get around, I feel like it's going to be too little too late. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, Yodo, you can see, is being used quite effectively as just a torpedo spamming boat. We saw all the torpedoes earlier with the Elbing helping out. But right now, it's just a little bit of jockeying for position. I'm curious what Big Boy 69 is going to do with the Druid. I kind of feel like he's just chilling. Which is odd, because that means there's one less person out there, right? And that's weird. I put in a delay of 3 minutes on my microphone, but it doesn't seem to want to work. Well, I just tried it again. We'll see if that works. Peyton is able to get into the Thunderdome now. As our next Death Snail comes up, and we see the Elbing taking some heavy fire there. He allowed himself to get spotted, and our Shadow goes down. First blood for RESIN. Only took about 5 minutes and 45 seconds, but now this Yodo is going to be in trouble. My co-caster has woken up. And he wants up on my lap. Ooh, Napoli versus Henri Funsies coming up here. Napoli's making Inky, but Peyton's got Hydro, so he doesn't care about that. I think they're just going to go for the Ram at this point. That would be the safest decision. And there they go. So now, we got some ships that are starting to get off the board. Things are going to start to get a little bit more panicked, as even though RESIN has that first kill, you can see the points solid for Team RVS on the count of them having 2 caps. Alright, we got Des Moines versus Yodo. Petropavlovsk is also in the area, but unfortunately for them, Umdiata is staying behind the island, so it's really only the Yodo there. I'm being asked why there's a drawing on the top right corner. Simply put, that's what the stream pack said. I don't know, guys. I think it's something to do with the maybe it's branding for Warship Masters? You'd have to ask somebody else that really knows. Gaishu could probably answer that question.
The enemy is about to win.
Torpedoes coming in on the Yodo. Will he take one? Nope. He manages to dodge all of them. We're getting some Druid on Druid action. Shimakaze now trying to get in and help out. Or is that the Kandi? I think that was Ocean Man, actually, from long range. Now, with the Druid being called out of A, you can see that Leet was able to take a Shimakaze into A. Petropavlovsk radars doesn't matter. It does allow for the point flip. As you can see, the Smolin, Missouri needs buff, goes right into the A cap and holds it. So at the very least, that will freeze point gain for Team RESIN, which means that they are still down on points and they still need to find a way to get back into this game, as Big Boy 69 is absolutely getting hunted by Unicorn's Druid. Remember, Druid only has 2 front turrets. Doesn't have anything in the back. So it's actually not a really good kiting ship. It's a good chasing ship, but not a good kiting ship. Meanwhile, it looks like Team RESIN is going to grab the B cap. They managed to push Yodo too far back. That will allow for RESIN to get only points right now, which they desperately need, because I have a feeling Big Boy 69 is going to go down here pretty soon. We've got a Des Moines Petropavlovsk action going on too. Let's kind of zoom out so you can see there's 3 separate fights going on right now. Yodo at the very top. You've got the Des Moines Petropavlovsk in the middle. And then towards the bottom here, we've got the Druids and the Druid. I'm going to try to keep these guys all on screen for you so you can see just how crazy... actually, there's 4 now. The Marceau coming in from the side, trying to pling up Ocean Man. Big Boy 69 is going to go down. It's just a matter of time. So really, what RESIN needs to do is find a way to get a kill in response. Now, Big Boy manages to put a smoke up. He's got another heal coming up in 15 seconds. So he's actually going to hold them back for a bit as Ocean Man takes out the Petropavlovsk. Boom Diata is kind of safe. And Eagle Lance's Shimakaze coming up. Now we know what he's going to do here, guys. He's going to smoke up his Des Moines buddy. But Boom Diata says, I don't want the smokes. And just moves farther forward. Perhaps a bit of a misplay there, but we'll see. Torpedoes do not hit. That's important. There's Eagle Lance's smoke. And the Druids are still chasing each other down there. It's kind of fun. I'm sure Unicorn has... Yeah, he's got radiolocation, so he's just going to follow that to the end. Doesn't matter. 30 seconds to go. Because they couldn't get that kill on the Druid, kind of feel like this is pretty much over. We'll see, though. As Enterprise Soiku, if he manages to kill Ocean Man right here, that means RESIN has no more flagship for the rest of the game. Does not happen, and because of that, RESIN wins Game 1. Congratulations to them. Well fought on both sides. And you know me, I gotta get ready for my death pick. Alright, so that would be Team RESIN. Up 1. This is, again, a best of 3. So let's go back to... Yes, we are. Excellent. Woo-wee. Okay. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Round 2. Fight! This is between RVS and RESIN. Warship Masters. Very first set of our day. Best of 3. If RESIN wins this, we're going to search for a Game 3. If RESIN does not win this, and RVS wins, we go to a Game 3, which we like to see. Alright, so both teams have chosen to bring a battleship this time around. Remember, there's a point value with everything. Obviously, some sacrifices have to be made in order to bring our battleship. So let's see what each team is bringing. We've got ourselves, for RVS, a Schlieffen. Now, this is a full secondary built Schlieffen, other than having the DCP in slot 1. Interesting choice there to not run fire prevention. And then we've got ourselves the same Petro from last game. Antioxidants was in a Yodo. He's changed to a Gibraltar. I can't remember off the top of my head the point values for that, but I'm sure they saved some points there. We've got a Druid, a Z42, an El Bonk, as Boggsy likes to call it, and a Kleber that's currently making full speed for the Sea Cap. Meanwhile, Team RESIN is bringing with them an Ushakov. That's Peyton, the team captain. Now, Ushakov is, of course, a super ship as well. It's the Russian super ship. And so that's their flagship, if you will. Note that RVS has chosen not to bring a flagship just yet. Interesting decision-making for them. Anyway, RESIN is bringing a Petro and a second Petro instead of Des Moines and Condi for cruisers, and then they've got 4 destroyers, a Druid, a Shimakaze. We saw those 2 last game in those same ships, and then we've got ourselves Leet and an Elbing instead of Shimakaze, and Wolfman now in the Elbing as well. Interesting, Leet choosing turret traverse for his Elbing, and Wolfman choosing the accuracy module for the Elbing. Kleber does as Kleber does best and goes into the cap and takes it before anybody else can. So once again, RESIN is on a slight back foot. We go back to this corner here so we can see kind of what each team is doing early on at the start here. Wolf, I will definitely pet Stevie for you. He's still just laying on my lap. His head is actually up against my elbow right now. I think he just wants to sleep. First radar out from Ocean Man's Petro catches nothing. So they know nothing is really in the center of the map. Of course, if he would have held that radar a little bit longer, they would have detected Missouri, the Z-42, and possibly that Druid. That's alright. Gibraltar detected now. Ushakov shells coming in. This could hurt a lot. Some of them shells connected, but not too much out of there. Here comes Boomdiada's radar, and the Z-42 is probably going to be the focus fire target. And you can see he's, yep, starting to back off now. Another shell coming in for Gibraltar, does nothing. What's going on over here at the sea cap? It looks like Psycho took a torpedo earlier. Okay. And now we've got Ushakov versus Petropavlovsk. Peyton taking this spot here. Now this is a risky position because of the fact that, I mean, you're going to pull all the torpedo threat, right? Which is, frankly, the Z-42 and, of course, the Elbing. Oh, the Elbing's pretty far out at this point. You can see that he's already dumping torpedoes. Looks like towards the middle there. He's expecting to see a push from Team RESIN. Schlieffen is getting into the sea cap now. There's not much that two Elbings can do about it. And Peyton is just going to sit here and get farmed. There's his first heal already being used. And will he take a torp? No. He will not. Let's look back over towards C. More torpedoes coming towards the Schlieffen. C has now flipped. Or sorry, C never changed. What am I thinking? So RVS has a pretty strong point lead, just like last game. I think the big question is, how can RESIN find a way into this battle? They're gonna need to get at least one kill. I think the Gibraltar is probably their best bet for that kill. But right now they're looking at this Petropavlovsk. Schlieffen dodges torpedoes that were coming in for him.
The enemy is about to win.
Diada is kind of in trouble. He's pushed up really far, and now you can see our Shadow's able to just pump some AP into his broadside. Getting some good ship damage here. And you can see that the Druid is also getting in on this. Big Boy 69's Druid That fight that they had last game, I think it kind of left both of them thinking about what they want to do with their lives. But Boom Diata is absolutely going to be the farm target right here. He might even take a torpedo. No, he'll be okay there, but it doesn't really matter. He's dead. And that's the Brazilian camo, so that looks, he's going to die in fashion at least. There he goes, with a Citadel hit from Kaga-sama's Petropavlovsk, who is also quite low. As the home cap now flips, Eagle Lantis Shimakaze gets into the A cap, and look at the Schlieffen just running through the middle of the map. I mean, it makes sense, right? You've got a secondary spec Schlieffen, and there's no beef over there at C cap. Alright, there goes RVS's Petro. You can see secondaries ablaze now for Leitz Albing, who was detected for a little bit. Eagle Lance lays down a wall of skill. It's coming this way, as additional torpedoes from the Elbing are coming in. Man, RESIN is like really concentrated in one spot, which I think is going to end up being quite problematic for them. I really feel like RESIN wasn't able to make use of their Elbings that much. It's really the torpedoes that they took them for. They didn't really get much in the way of connections there, other than the one hit on Psycho's Kleber. Big Boy 69 in trouble now, detected. Once again being chased down by a Druid, but our Shadow's Elbing is in there. You can see the Schlieffen secondaries are coming in on him too, just raining down, just constant reminders that he's got somebody shooting at him. That means Big Boy's not able to run and smoke as much as he'd want to. Actually, he's just fine because he didn't shoot his guns. But he's got 2 seconds, he'll probably get the heal off. There it is. That'll save a little bit of time, as the Schlieffen decided to pull in like this. That's interesting. And even Unicorn now just pew-pewing away like crazy. This is quite risky. If you look at the timer up on the top of the screen, technically RVS will win this if nobody else dies and nothing else changes. I'm surprised that they gave up on chasing Big Boy 69's Druid, as both destroyers, as the destroyer group, I should say, has flipped to the south, and Unicorn is going to go down here. Oh my, there he goes right here. Boom. Really good execution on the part of Team RESIN. That Schlieffen just parking himself. I don't know. That's not doing much for that team, unfortunately. He's got to use that torpedo power, main gun power, but he ain't doing it. Okay, well, at this point, now the Schlieffen comes around, but I feel like it's a little bit too little too late. 43 seconds left. 43 seconds remain in this battle. Now it's 35 seconds. I just don't see a way back in for RVS, which means that RESIN is going to go 2-0. Maybe the Z42 gets smacked. He does. This might do it right here. It does. And with that kill, RESIN wins 2-0. Get my death pick. 2-0, apply, set the winner. Congratulations go to Team Resin.